Well, Merry Christmas, everyone, and to all a good afternoon. Hopefully, this goes out in the
I would say,
afternoon.
I don't know if this will come out on Christmas though. This will be like way after Christmas.
Then watch this on Christmas.
Yeah. Non-official after Christmas episode. There we go.
Wait till next Christmas. I don't care. Hello, welcome to the Third World Podcast. I'm
Ooh. He's J. Shaps.
I'm shocked.
We got to keep that in there.
No, no, you can't do that. You just bleep the first part.
I say my stalkers can come after you now.
Yeah, honestly,
she knows your first name.
I need to be careful.
Yeah, for real.
Long week. I'm Shaps. This is Caleb.
Hey, actually though, I don't think she will. Like she. I think you've done good. No, she doesn't know anything about you.
No,
Yeah.
the entire reason I do everything I do is for this very reason.
You don't want to also file an order.
Right.
I'm keeping this part in.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I can talk about it finally.
Yeah,
It's been way after the fact. So I'm speaking my truth, comrade.
Yeah, you want to give like a little 5-minute synopsis about just
stalker videos are out. I'm hoping part 3's out by the time this airs. So by part 3, we're talking about the hours of voicemails I got. And so what's taking that one so long? If it's not out yet, cool. Here's why it's taking so long. If it is out, here's what I had to do to work through it. I had to go through hours of voicemails, hours and hours of her flushing the toilet as she's talking to me, kicking her feet in the tub while she's talking to me. I got to hear all the, I'm putting on essential oils. And then I got to hear all the, I hate you, you hate me, stay away from me. Then back to, God, you're going to be such a great father someday. It's just bipolar, crazy. She says Delulu, like very Delulu. So it's taken a long time. So I got to sort through all that. I got to figure out what jokes I want to make and all that kind of stuff. And they're about 20 to 30 minutes a piece. But I kept parts 3 and 4 short to make room for all the voicemails. So I think I did pretty good.
To be clear, I have never met this woman in my life. I have no connection with this. It's Caleb's story. I'm just supporting you.
Okay. Do you remember when we talked about that meme where I said like I'm on part 7 of my master plan for vengeance, and then I was like part 7. It's like part 3.
Yeah.
And then it's blank 4, 5, 6, and then you're on part 8 soon. You know what I mean? She took that. Where I talked about the meme, and she says that I purposefully stated on the air that I am plotting vengeance and revenge. And she took that clip way out of context and is like, he said he's taking vengeance on me, he's taking revenge on me. Wow. And so that's like a big part of the story is like she's running with nothing. So anyway, it's stuff like that, audience, that I'm working through and sorting out. So feel free to kind of leave your comments if you want about it. Y'all know I posted about this. I turned off comments because she has a habit of going in there, attacking other people in the comments, identifying herself, making it about her. And like, we're not doing that anymore with these. These are about me. This is my side of the story. Yeah. I would love to sit up at 3 a.m. and moderate the comments to see every time she makes a new account and comments, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just turn them off. Come to one of these videos, come to the post when I say, hey, part 3's out, come to those and like, say what you want. Yeah. If she hops in there, I'm just going to delete them and block it and just, till she'll fall asleep at some point and get tired. Sure. So she always does. Anyway, that's where I'm at on that.
Cool.
Part 4 should be easier than part 3. Part 3 is the one that's taking time. So I'm not even, I barely put a dent in the voicemails as of the time of this recording, but I'm hoping to be done in the next week or two. So part 2 took me like 10 hours. I'm surprised. So you actually haven't finished the actual parts. You just listened to the voice recording.
Yeah, whatever I have like the most time for, because I do want to like read the like the posts and everything. But the most time I have free time is like in the car driving.
Yeah,
so I'm
for
like,
well.
That worked out perfectly. Yeah. But
well, I am really interested in your perspective on these when you do get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
You still haven't watched our short film, right?
No.
All right. Well, with these, it's very important to me that you at some point watch these and let me know what you think. Gotcha. Short film, I'll let you off the hook on. But it's interesting. So let's see. When I did the rough draft recording of part 1 and 2, it was an hour and a half together. And so what I did was I kind of cut those in half, 45 minutes each. I went in there and I chopped them up as much as I could. because I was like, at first I was just reading the post word for word, and that just takes too long, and nobody wants to hear me narrate this. So I was like, I'll just take one. What I did for 3 and 4 is I took the best line out of each paragraph, and I read that part, and then I switched to the next one. If you want on your own time, which is what you said you'll do, and I think the audience will do, is they'll pause, read it, press play. But I picked out what I thought to be either the most funny, the most the part where she outs herself. I think those are important. Like there's a couple parts where she says, I you're my husband. You know what I mean? I made sure to highlight those because as you'll see in parts 3 and 4, the story very much changes to he exploited me. He used me while I was drunk, you know, so I don't know. And then I came to the conclusion to post the entire audio recording because I was like, you know, I have it. Like, I mean, it's just sitting in my, you know, external hard drive.
Yeah.
And it has the whole thing she's trying to spin into this narrative that I'm this horrible person. It's all from there. So I was like, I may as well just post it, you know, and like, if you know, you listened to it, which I thought was interesting. I didn't think you would, because I listened to it once. I was like, I can't do this, but I had to listen to it to bleep out names and stuff. Yeah. But I really, I just thought it was good to post in its raw form because if you started seeing cuts. You know, people start wondering, what did he cut? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I left it in there. The parts where I'm vulnerable, the parts where I cry. I was like, I think it just needs to be in there. You know, like I'll just have to get over it. Yeah. You know, comments are off. It's not like they can bully me in the comments.
Definitely, definitely was hard to listen to some parts. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, geez Louise, this must be the most miserable thing to go through all these horrible experiences again for hours and hours and hours.
I know. The voicemails, man, were really daunting. There were so many times where, so I talked about On at Night with Darcy, this girl that was interested in me, but I wasn't really interested in. Yeah. And we'd be sitting there watching a movie, me and this other girl, and Stephanie's just, this is all the voicemails, all the messages, like all these things. Tell me about her day. Also, I hate you because you're ignoring me. And I'm just sitting here like, leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to move on. Right. You know, I'm trying to get, you know, anyway. So it was hard collecting all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I had to turn on screen recording, play a voicemail, scroll down, play a voicemail. And then in part 3, I think you're going to see how many voicemails I got. And like me, there's a part where I tried to scroll through just to show how many I had. There were so many, and it's ridiculous.
Real quick, I know the answer to this, but I don't know if you've ever said it on air before, but is the purpose for these videos to take revenge, destroy her, or just to defend yourself and to make your story known?
I think it's something defend myself for sure. But here's the thing. Nobody's watching her stuff. Yeah. Nobody cares. Like shit, like her posts get 1 like to 0 likes because she makes hundreds of posts a day. Yeah. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching her. So nobody's really coming at me, with the exception of the church we used to go to. They handled it very wrong. Yeah. Which we'll get into at some point next year. Right. But nobody's watching it and coming into my DMs and be like, hey bro, what do you do? You know, what tell me like so there's an element of defending myself, but I think there's a big part of it. One, I think it's a really entertaining story. I really do. I think it's like it's one of the hardest video projects I've had to ever work on since we started this channel. So it's stretching me creatively, and I'm learning a lot of stuff about editing. And too, I just think, like I said, it's just an interesting story to me, and I think there's a level of entertainment to it. And then third is something I've been wanting to talk about. That's kind of why we started this show, at least on my end, was because I want to talk about aspects of my life that I think are interesting, or give my perspective, which I think I can be funny or interesting. And I think it's been weighing on me, and I think I'm finally able to talk about it and get it off my chest. And I think when I shot part 1 and 2, I felt so much better. I felt like I didn't have to be so tight-lipped about it. I didn't feel like I couldn't say anything. Because I don't respond to her comments. Like I made that clear in parts 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, same thing. Even as literally years have gone on, I have not responded, and it just feels like I've been holding it in for so long. I'm finally able to get it out and get it off my chest, and I think I found a way to do that by switching her name out, blurring out the stuff that outs herself or outs anyone in her family. And I'm just finally getting to say what I want to say about the situation. Like I know my close friends already know how I feel about it, and they've gotten for the most part, they've gotten the brunt of what I've been going through. But I don't know, just therapeutic for me, for one, to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
2, there's a level of like I finally get to defend myself. And then 3, I just think it's a really entertaining story.
Sure.
That just, I mean, it has to be told. Like I watched that Baby Reindeer. I guess I don't know if you call it a biopic. And he went through almost the exact same thing with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where she's showing up at his stuff, she's messaging his family, calling his family, and I'm going through the same thing. And I was like, that was an empowering story. I feel like he got to finally talk about his life, and I was like, you know, on my end, this is my life. I get to talk. I want to talk about this. Like, I mean, and I finally, you know, with the podcast, I've had a platform to do it, and so I don't know. It's just like you know, those 3 things are why I essentially started the series and why I intend on finishing it and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, those 3. Yes, there is a level of I want to share it with people for entertainment. I think it's an entertaining story. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, part of me wants to, you know, I want people to laugh with me. Like, what the heck is going on with this dude or this person? Hey, you know. So
and you haven't dropped names, you haven't doxed, so it's like that to me is like, you know, obviously I know you, but like confirmation hopefully to the audience is like, yeah, this isn't like let's just destroy her, you know, like let's just make, you know, her life a living, you know, whatever. But it's like, no, this is just.
I think if she left me alone after she got the order against her, the protective order, if she left me alone, I think I would have left it alone.
Sure.
I mean, after that recording took place, if she never messaged me again, I wouldn't even be. I might have brought it up once on that night, as an interesting story, but I wouldn't have. It wouldn't be this. You know what I mean? It would have just been an interesting story to tell people, but because it's evolved into something ridiculous, like I don't know. So because of that, I think it's now turned into like a 4-part, potentially 5-part now series. You know what I mean? I'm still deciding on part 5 or not, because like I said, a lot's happened the past couple days where I'm like, shoot, I mean, this would be part 5, but other than that, I think part 4 wraps it up really well to where I'm satisfied that I've told the story the way I want to tell it. Did I tell every single detail? No, but not every detail is relevant. You'll get the gist of, okay, I don't know why she's sitting on the toilet recording me a message. Like the audience doesn't need to hear every single sound bit from it, but the really juicy parts I think are definitely going in the video. So
cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of it so far. I think part 3 I will be very proud of once it's done, because that's the hurdle, is the big one, is the voicemails. Part 4, it's like, you know, let's wrap it up and talk about where I've come, how far I've come, and how things do get better if you just stick it out, you know, if you just play the course. So anyway, I think it's a very hopeful story too. And I do think if somebody does listen that takes a little bit of inspiration from it, you can persevere past false accusations, past somebody trying to ruin your life just because you didn't respond back to their text asking you to marry him. That you really think about that. Like this where this stemmed from. Like I ignored her message to marry her, and now she's mad about it, and that's where everything else is.
I just thought something too. There's a lot of people probably who are very close to your situation who probably listen now, like who feel like they can't stand up. You know, who feel like they have to submit to the crazy. You know, like or they believe they are the problem. You know, like all the manipulation like actually works on them. So I think this could be inspiring in some ways.
I think so too. I hope it is.
Yeah.
In the recording, you can tell. So I'm a nice guy, but I'm definitely not a pushover. Yeah. You know, and sometimes if it's not important to me, I can say, sure, let's do it. Even though I don't want to, I don't mind folding. But when you're listening to the recording, you can tell she thought I was kind and weak, and I'm not. I'm kind, but I'm not weak. So I was able to tell her no on a bunch of stuff, or I was able to hear her and then try to get my point out, because I was like, I disagree, and here's why I disagree, but she wasn't having it. But she was expecting some, I don't know, the way I carry myself, especially when we first met, I'm just a really nice guy. But I think she sensed that and thought I can walk all over him. And that's where people make a mistake. You know what I mean? That's where people in my personal life make a mistake. They think they can yell at me and I'm just going to take it, or I'm going to be scared or something like that. Like that's where those types of people slip up. I've talked a lot about women, and it's on both sides. But specifically with women, how to notice if someone is controlling is if you tell them no over something.
Yeah.
And I noticed in that recording and before that, when I said no a bunch of times on a bunch of things, and when she flipped out on me, it's like, okay, we got a control freak on our hand. You don't have to say no on anything crazy. You don't have to, oh, can you buy me flowers? No, you know, like,
small,
but it's like, hey, I kind of want this. And like, no, not today. How they react to your no speaks volumes. And that's how I knew the night of, you know, when I said no a couple times and she flipped out on me, I was like, okay, we got something a little crazy on our hands, you know. I still made bad decisions that night, but, you know, I was able to, I don't know. I thought I cut her off kind of quick, and I thought that was, you know, the day after I thought was a good, you know, I don't know.
Sure.
It's not like I was with her for months and then decided to stand up for myself, like, you know, so anyway. Yeah, I hope the audience is listening to the story and that they find it entertaining. And if it doesn't get views, that's fine. Honestly, it's like I said, it's therapeutic for me. If one person listened to it and felt inspired by it or got even just entertained by it, you know, comments are off, so it's only gonna get so many views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's only gonna get so much engagement. So that's fine. It's not about attention for me as much as it is, like I said, a little bit. It's an entertaining story. I want people to hear it, but like I said, it's about getting it off my chest. And, you know, to some extent, like I said off the air, I don't want to be known as just the guy who got stalked. If this went crazy viral, Ray William Johnson covered it, Asmongold was like, oh, man, you know, and then they did it. Like, you know, that's not all I want to be known for, obviously. I want to be known for the show and how great I think the show is. And, but, you know, that's fine. You know, if this isn't my big break, cool. I'm actually happy with that. That's not what I want to be known for. I want people to... I want to stand up on my own, you know, or us to stand up on our own. And then if they want to, oh, what's this series? How to Prove Stalking. That was a good story. Okay. So I'm okay with that. Sure. I don't need this to be like, I don't need to be on the news for this. I don't need to be in any articles, all that kind of stuff. I'm okay. So, you know.
Cool.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that this story could affect you at all?
No. I'm way too careful to a fault sometimes. So
yeah,
nah, I don't think so.
That's good.
And I don't do again. I'm not in it for the fame or the views or the money that we don't have.
I think we will though, bro. Yeah. I really think at some point we are gonna have, even if it's $20 a month. Yeah. That's something.
It's even split. I like it.
That is a coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At Dunkin' Donuts. You know,
have you ever seen that? I think it was SNL. It was like it was a guy who's like, he's like in an African village, and he's like doing like one of those for the price of a small cup of coffee, you can save a child's life. And there's people behind them. They're like, wait, a small cup of coffee? Do you know how much a small cup of coffee is? And first of all, you ain't saving nobody's life. It's not 99 cents. Why aren't you asking for more? It's like,
right.
He's like, it has to be a cup of coffee because that's what it sounds good. It sounds good that way.
Yeah. Hey, how's that cartoon coming? Is it finished yet?
He gave me an update. Yeah, he said before the end of the month, hopefully.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's nice. I've been working through Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, is he American or no?
Nah, he's UK.
Okay, so they probably do stuff a little bit differently or dates are switched. I don't know.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. No, it's going to be exciting.
No, I'm super excited.
Can't wait for that.
That's my Christmas present to you.
Thank you. It was expensive, so I can't really be mad. And then we're going to also iron out dates to reshoot the commercial, which I'm excited about. I'm looking at the week of like January 6th, anniversary of that time a bunch of white people stormed the White House.
There had to have been one darker person there. You know.
What do you mean? What a crazy day in our history.
Yeah.
I wish I could forget that. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the only thing of historical note in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What about this year?
Yeah.
Well,
what about it?
A presidential candidate almost getting assassinated twice, once on his own golf course. Like,
you know, actually, it was interesting how quickly the media moved on from that. I will tell you what is interesting is how they tried to pretend our current president was mentally sane.
Up until like,
yeah.
Like they were doing that. They did that big push for probably like 2 weeks when people were really starting to question it. And then like when it came out that he was dropping, then everyone dogpiled on him.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like,
The mainstream media.
I hate mainstream media so much.
Wait, but how do you feel about them now? They might sell MSNBC. Like Comcast is looking at selling MSNBC.
I did see that. Yeah, I think Elon Musk was like, "Oh,
He was
what if I buy it?"
it wouldn't cost them that much.
Yeah, honestly.
But and then did you see that? I think it was it CNN?
All of them jumped ship. Did you
Yeah.
see that too? Like they're begging for forgiveness basically, and like they're obviously seeing who the winning side is now.
Yeah, no
It's like,
kidding.
it's just you scum.
Yeah, no kidding.
Stick to your guns.
But did you see that? That I think it was CNN. They lost that lawsuit on Trump. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
So basically, I'm sorry. I don't want to just dance around the guy's name if I don't know his name. So, ABC News.
Oh, okay.
ABC News lost a lawsuit with Trump.
What were they suing him over?
Defamation. So
okay.
Trump was suing them for defamation because George Stephanopoulos, one of the anchors, he was talking about that time Trump got indicted for grape charges, and he went on there and just talked like Trump was already convicted. So he's like, how do you feel? He was talking to a congresswoman, I think, and he was like, how do you feel that Trump is now liable for grape? And she was like, well, I mean, nothing's been brought yet. I mean, you can't really say that he's been convicted, you know.
Right,
and he was like, well, and he just ran his mouth. So Trump sued him, and he won. And ABC had to pay him $15 million, which is nothing to Trump, obviously, but probably paid for that garbage truck that he drove around after Biden addressed the nation, half the nation.
Yeah.
And but they also cut that. They didn't fire that anchor, but they cut his salary to make up the difference. So it's like that's a big L for ABC News, embarrassing. So and then you got The View, how they might fire Sonny. What's her name?
Really?
Yeah, because of all the stuff she said about Matt. Forget his name, but did you see her retracted apology? She had to. So she ran her mouth.
I love watching The View.
I don't.
I mean the snippets, but yeah.
Yeah. So she ran her mouth on this guy who wasn't convicted of anything or what, and she just was blah blah blah. And then for the like almost the rest of the week or the next 2 weeks, she had to read so and so has denied any allegations. But like she had to read basically an apology. And the first one you could tell she was not having it. She had the death blank stare, like I'm dead inside. Read it. She read it, and then the second one. By the second one, she just had it memorized, and she's just like, and there was a little bit more personality in it. So I don't know. She had to do it like 3 times to cover the View's butt, So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just don't talk. Why don't we talk up people more? Instead of talking down people. Let's pick a random person on this dartboard. Oh, Hawk to a girl. That was random.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So she has not posted on her podcast for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Her show is every 2 weeks, right? And of course, after promising everybody, promising CoffeeZilla, not knowing CoffeeZilla recorded the whole thing and was posting it anyway.
Yeah.
Promising it wasn't a scam. We're not about to log off of Discord and never come back.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing from us as we fix the coin. Well, lo and behold, that following Tuesday, I actually posted a poll on the channel. Did you see it?
No.
Yeah, and everyone almost unanimously voted. No, she won't address the allegations.
Yeah.
It was actually way worse than that because on Tuesday she just didn't post anything. No episode, nothing. And ironically, the last episode of Talk Tua was how to not get canceled with so and it was whatever the guest was.
Yeah.
And then radio silence, dead. Like her, I don't even think her Twitter has posted anything. So she's been gone. And so I was like, okay, obviously she's hiding. But I was like, she needs a minute probably to gather her thoughts. Did you watch CoffeeZilla's video thing? So while the person who made the project, Doc Hollywood, we talked about him, while he's promising everybody, we're not a scam, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
She just decides on call, hey everybody, I'm gonna go to sleep now and I'll see y'all when I wake up. Right. And then Doc Hollywood, you can tell, is like, so she's leaving him out to dry, essentially, explaining this to everybody, and she just logs out and goes to sleep.
Dirty.
We ain't heard from her since, and so everyone's like, "Man, she's taking a long nap." So another week goes by, And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, she has to post something by now because if not, it's going to look worse than it does. And a second week goes by, no Talk Tua episode. And I'm just wondering what's going on in her mind right now. Like, is she, I mean, up until now, she has not cared about anything anyone has said. Everyone's told her your 15 minutes of fame are up. You know, you got your viral moment, and then you got no substance outside of that. Mm-hmm. And she's ignored them, and she's thrived on it. Mm-hmm. She has thrived on the hate. Now that there's money involved and lives are potentially ruined, she's said nothing. Right. You know what I mean? Now some of those investors are filing lawsuits on her, like officially. Oh, so now she's officially getting sued.
You can lose everything.
Yes. All the money she's earned, hanging out with Shaq, hanging out with the Paul brothers. Now, here's my question to you. Why is she getting sued, but Logan Paul isn't getting sued? What do you think?
Was Logan Paul not sued?
I
thought it was a class action.
Not last I checked. He's suing CoffeeZilla right now.
I thought he got sued over the zoo game.
No, I don't think there's any actually official suit yet.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he got a class action.
Let me see then.
Now, he might have settled with the refund.
No, he's getting sued for Prime.
Oh.
That thing with Prime.
Okay.
But nobody's suing him over, as far as I can tell.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have sworn I remember that story, but maybe he was threatened again. I could have sworn there was a class action against him.
Is facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit over a failed crypto project. I don't see, though, that it's actually active.
I see.
Let me look, though. Paperwork that's actually been filed. Because there's paperwork that she is actively been filed against her. It's one thing to say that you're liable. Like, I'm sure anybody can say that. But, like, has anyone started suing?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. For several months, this is BBC. For several months, Paul refused to talk to BBC about our investigation. Then he appeared to relent, inviting us to interview him at his gym in Puerto Rico.
Cool.
However, when our crew arrived, a Logan Paul lookalike turned up in the YouTuber's place, shortly followed by a crowd shouting abuse about the BBC.
Hold up. Why did this not hit major news outlet? What?
Minutes after abandoning the interview, we received a lawyer's letter on behalf of Paul warning us of the possible consequences if we've published our findings. It says he's facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, but it doesn't.
He has not been served anything.
But it doesn't look like it. But maybe I'm wrong, right? But Prime is actually actively going. So he's trolling BBC, obviously, which, I mean, I can't lie. That's actually kind of funny.
That cost them so much money to fly the entire crew out.
That's actually pretty funny. I can't lie. I'll give them points on that one. But I might take note if my stalker tries to sue us. I'll be like, I'll show up and get the paperwork.
Lookalike.
Yeah. God, there's so many of those. Just invade someone's house and be like, you look like me. Here, I need you to show up here. Here's $50.
So dress your brother up.
Yeah, for real. I don't think he looks like me that much, though. What do you think? You think he does?
Close enough to get the point across.
That's fair. Make him wear a fat suit.
Okay, so Talk To again sued. She's shutting up like a clam because she's like, oh my God, this is real world. This is big. This is big kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could lose everything in literally 5 seconds and no one cares.
I think she's gonna have to settle. Because in those settlements, they have a clause where everyone shuts up about it. Just take the money and don't publish anything, right? It's probably what Logan Paul is going to do with all this other stuff.
But why would they even take this settlement? They could get everything. Like, I don't even know if she's not in no position with any, she has no bargaining position, right?
Right.
Like, they could just take everything. Like, I don't know why they would want to settle.
Well, if everyone gets $1 million, and I only put in $10K,
yeah.
I'd take that. And then just never talk about her again. Deal.
Or I put $500K down and I get $10 million for everyone's.
Well, how much is enough? That's another.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's another question.
Exactly.
So
it's like
and you'd have to take out a loan for that $500K because neither of us got that sitting in our bank account. I'll speak for me. Maybe you're sitting on a big pile of cash.
You haven't seen my gym in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm wondering how long she can be quiet about it before she. You
said investors are suing her, right?
I'm pretty sure investors.
Well, yeah,
are
they got
suing
big
her.
money.
Like, what? I can't sue her for this coin.
No,
You
that's
know
what I'm saying though. You're
Yeah.
saying investors have sued because they're like they're gonna get that, and they want
They're gonna get their
everything.
money.
They want everything. So
And I mean, at some point, the government
plus damages. You
Yeah.
know, like
Oh yeah.
loss of fun. You know, everything. So it's like loss of profit. Like they can sue for so freaking much. Yeah.
And I think they're gonna win on this one.
Oh yeah.
Like
if she's shutting up like this, and she clearly like is abandoning kind of like her team.
yeah.
Not looking.
Oh yeah, because the same people that acted like it wasn't her doing it, it will throw her under the bus so fast. You know, Doc Hollywood is acting like, you know, you didn't see his video where he's like, "You all should be sucking my dick right now." You know what I mean? And then of course we haven't heard from him after that.
Right.
So you know, he's an idiot too. Like he's not gonna protect her. Like if it comes down to selling her out to get out of it, he'll do it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I don't know how much money he's sitting on. I know they're sitting on a big wad of cash from that night. You know what I mean? Like I said, they got a 15% service fee for everyone who bought in.
Oh,
so
no, they can take everything.
Oh yeah. So they're I mean, she better settle or find a way to pay everybody back, you know, something like that.
How about come out with an apology?
That's not going to give them their money back.
Yeah, but if we just
How about anything? How
if
about
we all just forgive each other?
Yeah.
If we all just forgive each other. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, sure. But what about like a blanket Hawk Tua, Haley Welch denies any wrongdoing, blah blah. Like not even that. You know, the generic Chat GPT statement.
That's what happens when you put freaking civilians in these positions overnight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We should invest in some of these fake coins that are about to be rug pulled so we can just sue and get the money. You know what I mean?
I don't think
it's a free lawsuit.
Yeah, but I think you have to have like enough status for like big investors to chime in. You know, like we don't have enough money for lawyers, dude. You kidding me?
My father-in-law's a lawyer. You know that?
Okay, so it's gonna be like my cousin Vinny, but like
he's a good dude. He used to be a city attorney. He's a good attorney. But I see your point. Bro, just think that we could all have a house next year by talk to a coin, you know?
Yeah, let's sue that 13-year-old who made like $50,000.
Dude, you know he did that 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
I looked him
in
up.
a row.
I looked him up
consecutively.
Now, I didn't look him up specifically. I watched Papa Meat's video on crypto scammers, and he brought up that kid, and I was like, 3 times.
3 times.
Because my wife, we were sitting there watching it together, and she was like, you know, because I told her what you said on that episode where you're like, man, people just want to be scammed, you know? And so I told her that, and she's like, oh, I don't know. I could see why they'd be misled. And then we got to that kid, and she was like, 3 times? Yeah, you're right. They want to be scammed. I can't. I don't know. 3 times is insane to me. I'm sorry. I don't know how you fall for that more than once.
Instead of suing, dude, it's easier if we just make our own scam coin. But
and those people, I watched it. He broke down some of those. They don't do any. They don't put any effort.
No.
They turn on a stream and they'll start dancing.
It's literally the whole point.
And people buy the coin. And I was like, bro, we could make. I mean, eventually the government's going to come in and shut it down.
I don't know. Like maybe.
I don't know with how.
Why? Why would they?
Well, I don't know. Elon Musk wants to make crypto the norm. You know, he's trying to come in, and with that, there's going to come a lot of regulation. I know crypto right now prides itself on, we're not government regulated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the government's going to do what they want.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to come in, and then those coins that aren't American made, they're going to, you know, like they're doing with TikTok, they're going to do the same with those non-American coins. They're going to kick them out and shove them out.
What's he over? Efficiency? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's over. The government's going to come in and regulate Coinbase at some point. We're going to be paying taxes on your crypto, so you may as well.
I sold, so I'm good.
Yo, you sold?
Yeah, I saw it go. I was like,
yeah,
it's not coming back.
I've noticed the trend of where it'll hit this amount, and then it's going to plummet. So I've been catching it when it hits that amount. So I'm going to start.
I'll buy back in when it hits like drop, and then I'll probably see what happens inauguration day, like I said. But like, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah,
I would have lost so much money just now, but
yeah. That's the thing with crypto that, I don't know, you're supposed to put it in there and not look at it, but how can you not?
Well,
you
like,
know what I mean?
I realized, I was talking to a buddy of mine who was explaining, he told me what market cap is. Essentially, it's one of crypto times however many there are in the world with its value. So it's basically a cumulative value of everything. So like every Dogecoin, for instance, accumulated all into one, and that's your market cap. And so he says why that's important is that if it's a really like low market cap, you can easily tell how much you're going to need for you to double your money. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense actually. So like if I let something crash, if it's like pennies, like, but I know it's going to go, then like say if $1 becomes $2 and suddenly you've made $1, it's like, it's that logic. So if you see something with a market cap of like $13 million, what are the chances you're going to make? You double your money, like make $22 million, $26 million. It's like very low chance. So it's like, that's what the market cap is for. So I'm like, okay.
So if the market cap's high, you're probably not going to make.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the chances of you making anything are really low. It looks impressive. It looks like, oh man, this is worth something, but it's already made its worth. It's post worth essentially. So like, you're not going to actually make any profit. You want to look for something that's a little bit more lower achievable. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Let's see. You also want to look at ones that are in court. And if they win the lawsuit,
oh yeah.
So those are the ones you probably want to invest into. I'm invested in a lot of Dogecoin ripoffs, and they're so worthless right now that like if any of them do become something, I think if any one of them hits Coinbase, because they're right now they're on Coinbase Wallet where you have to put money in Ethereum and then use your Ethereum wallet to go buy those other ripoff coins. If any of them actually hit mainstream Coinbase, I'm set. Because as soon as it hit mainstream, it's over. Like just being a ripoff coin, if you're on Coinbase, like you're rich. Like I'm sorry, like you're gonna have your money in your pockets. And I've been invested since 2021, and I've held, and it's gone down 90%. But I really think one of them's gonna recover, at some point. So. And it's not like I put my life savings in there. I just put in like what I can afford to lose. But I have so many of them. It's like if any of these, they're low enough to where they'll never hit a penny, but they could lose a couple of zeros, and before you know it, like cha-ching. The Shiba guy, he made he became a billionaire investing 4K into Shiba way before it hit that stride in 2021. So yeah, became a billionaire overnight. I don't think he ever logged in and claimed his coins, by the way, because I never heard if he cashed out. Like I heard he put 4K in and then he just forgot about it or something because he became a billionaire, but he never cashed out. So Shiba, if he cashed out, he would have taken everyone's money. But because he never did, it just kind of mellowed out over time. So I don't know if he ever logged in and took his money. I wonder if he died or something. Because I was like, how did he not know? Like one of his investments turned him into a billionaire.
Right.
So I was like, he must have passed away. And
from a heart attack, from how good he did.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Kuma Inu is one of the niche ones I'm in. And I believe in Kuma. They have a really nice roadmap that they've already achieved a lot of. And it actually has a lot of, at least from what I've explained, I couldn't explain it to you, but I've noticed like the way they've described it and how much it's achieving. It actually does have some utility to it, or it can over time. So I do. On Twitter, they keep posting, here's what we've updated. So I really think at some point it does have a shot at being good, So I've been invested for years. I could actually see it turning into something. If I made 100K off of it, I'd probably go ahead and cash out. I wouldn't wait for the big one. I just, enough for a down payment on a house, plenty. So I'd be happy. Sorry for boring everybody about my crypto portfolio that's non-existent, but you never know. It'd be fun. So could happen.
Did you watch the Game Awards 2 weeks ago?
No, I know that they nominated DLC as Game of the Year, right?
I mean, yes and no. Yes, but it's also Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
So it could be its own game, essentially.
Yeah, it's a From Software product. So it's like it's not like freaking Scream DLC from Mortal Kombat got nominated. It's more like, oh, this is like, the quality is just so good. It's like, it could be its own thing. But.
Is it still Jeff Keighley? Okay.
Jeff Keighley.
I like Jeff Keighley.
Oh, I love him. Dude.
I didn't used to like him, but that's because
when he was with Sony.
When he beefed with Angry Joe, I only took Angry Joe's side of the story.
Oh, I took Jeff's side.
Really? Okay, cool. So you liked him that much back then?
I think. Well, no, that's why I liked him. Actually, that's why I started liking him.
So you watched that Angry Joe?
Yeah, I think Angry Joe was out of line. But
well, they've made amends since then.
That's good.
Yeah, like because Joe actually sat down with him and was like, "Hey, bro, here's how you made me feel a couple years ago." And he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. My bad, dude." So yeah.
But ever since then, I think just like he's just. So because he's away from that huge corporate side of the spectrum, like he can really truly focus on just like quality and like consumers.
Absolutely.
And he highlights just the things. It's not like E3 at all. Like it just feels a lot more real and like down to earth than that. It's really big now. You know, you got like these major celebrities. The Muppets were there for some reason. Like it's just like all this crazy stuff that he puts in. But it's just awesome. You know, like and actually the speech that. So I don't know if you know what one game of the year.
No, I don't.
Astrobot did.
What did?
Exactly. The PS5 game, Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
You should look it up. It's really good, but like what's interesting about it is kind of like geared towards kids and it's a platformer, and it was up against like some really big hitters. And it's kind of split. A lot of people wanted Black Myth Wukong to win.
Right.
But like a lot of people are happy, myself included, the Astrobot one, just because like it's a lot more humble, I think. But towards the end, right before they announced it, the guy who won last year got up and basically made a speech, and he was like, "Hey, just really quick, I'm going to talk to the winners of next year." And he's like reading a letter as if it was the winners of next year, and basically says like, "Hey, like just so you know, the reason we're winning Game of the Year is because we didn't take advantage of our consumers. We didn't chop up our games. You know, we didn't like pressure consumers to buy all these microtransactions." It was just like a lot of just like stuff that everyone's been like complaining about, and then all the big AAA developers have been completely ignoring. And it was just like I recommend you watch it. It was a really good speech. Just basically he says like whoever wins next year, their mantra should be like, we're not trying to appease our publishers first and our investors first. It's the consumers first. And that's what we also enjoy our jobs. We love our jobs. We're not going to be worked like dogs, you know? And like, dude, that sticks. Cause like so many of these these corporations have just been treating these developers like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And we've seen these titles, the amazing art IPs just go and hit rock bottom because of all this greed, you know? So it was really cool to see that side of it, you know, like that positive side of what the gaming culture can be, you know, from the developers side. So yeah, it was really cool.
Okay, cool.
Really liked it.
I don't know, the Game Awards. I like Jeff Cayley, but I've always kind of thought that those Game Awards, I don't know. I still always just thought like the game I would want would never win. It's all still kind of politics and whatever. So I don't know. I don't have an interest as much.
I don't know. I was really surprised with this one because like usually what happens is one game wins like pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Even if it really shouldn't. But like I was surprised because I thought it was definitely going to be Black Myth. But no, it threw a curveball, definitely. I like seeing passionate projects get attention, you know. Astrobot definitely is like a passionate project.
Yeah.
It's essentially like you're a robot and you're trying to like you're going through it's kind of a commercial, unfortunately, but it's like you're inside a PS5. And you're going around the PS5 and fixing parts of it, and you're trying to find all the different characters from like all the different IPs that Sony owns or has done deals with, and characters from those games, you know, and just bring them all together. I'm like, that's just really cool. You know, it's just really fun. And they said they were like the developers of the game. They're like, hey, so just so you know, we were actually most inspired by a platformer on a little gray box. We can't say what the name was, but you all know who it is. I'm like, yeah, Nintendo was, oddly enough, Nintendo would probably sue you just for mentioning them, even if you're complimenting them.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
I thought that was so cool, but yeah.
That sounds kind of sweet. So I can see why you'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, do you remember when Mass Effect had that big controversy? I'm talking about Jeff Cayley from the past. So on Fox News, they were making fun. This was like 13 years ago.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Mass Effect had the sex scene, and Fox News made a big deal out of it, and and so they brought Jeff Cayley on, and he was on defending it, and he was like, "Look, y'all are taking that scene way out of context, you know." And they
Have you ever played it?
Yeah, they were running with the tagline "sex box" instead of Xbox, you know. And I was like, "Oh my god!" And so then he was like, "You know, have y'all played the game? Like, you know, you fall in love with that character. It's a thing about player choice." And they were like, you know, "Oh God, we don't want this in our home, whatever." And one of the ladies who was selling a book, she was like, "Yeah, I haven't played the game, but I know, you know, I can just tell by looking at it. It's misogynist and it's blah blah, you know." And then everyone review bombed her book because like I didn't read it, but I could just tell by the cover it sucks. so then she actually issued an apology. But I was like, okay, that's Jeff Cayley. I didn't realize I didn't know who Jeff Keighley was really when Angry Joe made his video, but it turns out like, oh, okay. Then I connected the dots. I was like, okay, Jeff Keighley's pretty cool. Do you remember the VGX when the 2013? Yeah, that kind of disaster thing he did. He had to reformat it, I think, after that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, he was trying. He was trying something new, and it could have been a great idea. Just the pieces didn't fall in together.
I love his drive to keep going and to make things better and bigger every time. And like again, like he's very much like. I remember when Konami fired Kojima, and that's why he wasn't. I don't know if you remember this, but like if you know that history with Konami, the guy who developed Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and how like before Metal Gear 5 was even like finished, they fired him, and then took all credit for it. Well, at the Game Awards, he was going to be there, but then I think Konami said he couldn't be there, and then Jeff Keighley got out and he was just like, "It pains us all to say." Unfortunately, Kojima will not be here tonight. It was not like a big corporate, haha. It was more like this sucks.
Yeah.
Just like, good. I like how he's just like a little more upfront about that stuff. Like we all know what's going on. That just sucks. That's awful. But
yeah.
And then Kojima was there at the Game Awards today. I'm like, good for you, man.
Cool. See, okay, I always focus on the negative. So I always think of the disaster that was VGX because of how everything went wrong. And even the part that, so that's when No Man's Sky got the spotlight.
Yes.
And everyone, the hype train for No Man's Sky came out. Was because of the VGX, and I was like, dang, like even 10 years after that, like nothing about that one show held up. You know what I mean? So, but like he learned from it and did, obviously went on to do way better stuff. So I don't clown on him too hard because, like, look, when I started creating stuff, like, shoot, a lot of stuff goes wrong. You know what I mean? So I get now I get it. It's like people pull out. So the comedians, I guess he hired. I don't know if they were his first choice or not. The Loiter Squad. Do you remember them?
Yeah. I think everyone was ready to kind of tear him apart. Yeah. To be honest, like all his creations, but like, I mean, dude, look at his work. Like, it all looks definitely so freaking top notch and professional. Like the Oscars and like. And you get in top level celebrities. Like they got Harrison Ford there. He had Keanu Reeves a few years back with Cyberpunk. All these people that respect him.
I thought that was E3, or was that not?
I'm pretty sure that was Game Awards.
Okay, never mind.
Because that's where they announce games. Well, I don't know. You could be right, but Keanu Reeves has been there.
Okay, fair.
But he also has this orchestra. I don't know if you've seen the memes of the flute guy.
I probably have.
Yeah, there's a flute guy who just like goes all out every year. So it's really cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't get onto him for like, I don't know. He does a lot of good work. And like, I could clown on him for making No Man's Sky the hype train that it was, but like that wasn't his fault. Like he also was fooled like we were, you know, like they showed him fake trailer footage and he's like, God, that looks amazing. We got to put that in our show. Like, well, I'd do the same thing, Do you
remember? I don't think he was a part of this. Do you remember G4?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, that takes me back. I think the last thing they did was the top 100 video games of all time. And that's kind of when they died. Then they kind of tried to come back a few years ago and then they failed immediately.
Yeah.
But
yeah. It's a tough market now.
It's completely different market. It's like Game Informer isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, so. YouTube and podcasts and just video game reviewers, like they wiped all those guys out of existence.
That was such a cool time, though. It was on for for a little bit, and they had some cool stuff on there.
With social media, literally everyone can do that now. You don't have to interview for G4 and get turned down. GameStop is dying nowadays. If you want to work with games, you don't have to do GameStop anymore. You can start a YouTube channel. You can review
with
stuff.
The giant of E3 losing, because guess what? All the AAA developers were like, "How about we just have our own show? And why are we shelling out money to E3?" Yeah. Oh, because it's tradition. Well, that's not profitable.
Yeah. Why is it tradition? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Dude, E3, I never thought E3 would go.
Yeah, but to some extent, I was like, guys, because then they made it public. I was like, oh, it's like Disney World. It's like they make it a big thing, but that probably was a telltale sign of its eventual downfall, to be honest. But yeah, crazy world.
Comic-Con, I think, is not as big as it used to be. It's still big. Don't get me wrong. Like,
there's just so many different conventions for specific IPs. I think.
Like we almost went if we were saving money for the wedding, but we almost went to like the Horror Fest in Dallas, and they had bunch of horror people there. Like they had the guy that plays Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, but he's been in a lot of horror stuff. He was there. The girl that played
in Scream, right?
Yeah. The girl that played Sidney Prescott in Scream, she was there, and I was like, I want pictures with both of them. You know,
sure,
she's gorgeous. Like I always want a picture with a hot celebrity. I'll tell you that. I told you when I met Gina Carano, she was so like.
You met Gina Carano?
Yeah, I never brought it up, right?
No, you never did.
That's not true.
How many times have we talked about Gina Carano? You've never brought it up.
So yeah, you're making fun of me.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. You're being for real.
I'm being for real.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you've said it. I just blanked.
Okay, I thought you were messing with me because I have brought it up a few times. I'll show you a picture, dude.
What?
Yeah. Let me find it.
What was she like, dude?
Okay, if I haven't told you this story, I'm about to go into detail because she is the nicest person you'll ever meet.
Tell me about her.
Okay, I got you. So let me find this picture first, and I'll explain it to you.
I might have seen the picture, but like I definitely have not heard.
Well,
the story.
she didn't look like how she does in Mandalorian.
Oh,
you know
right,
what I mean? Her hair was blonde. I'm not being mean. Like she has addressed on several shows that she has gained a little bit of weight. So she's a little bit thicker than she normally is, which I didn't care. She's still drop dead gorgeous, but I understand why she brought it. She would bring it up.
It just makes her more real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very attainable. No cameras today for a reason. Shoot. I don't have it on my phone, but I do have it on Facebook. Let me find it. On Facebook, nothing goes. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. There we go. Right there.
No, I have not seen that picture.
Okay.
What?
When I got there, she just looked at me and was smiling at me as I walked up for my picture, and I was like, I love my wife, right?
Right, of course.
But back then, I was single, and I do regret not just throwing out there, can we grab dinner after this? Obviously, I wouldn't change anything because I love my wife.
She's not married?
She's amazing. No. I don't even know if she's dating anybody.
Oh my God.
And so I do wish I at least had said something, but
you said she was really nice.
Yeah. So I get up there and she's smiling at me and I'm like, and she says, all right, put your arm around me. And then she grabs me and pulls me. I'm like, oh. And so in that
picks
picture,
you up with one hand.
And in that picture, I'm just like just goofy looking because my legs were shaking. Wow. I was having trouble standing. And then when we're done, she just looks at me and she goes, all right. Obviously, I mean, she wasn't uncomfortable. I could tell. Like, I didn't give her anything to go off of. She's like, thanks for coming out. I was like, and that was it. But she was great, man.
That's awesome.
Like I said, she was handsy. She was hands on with me. Like she grappled me. And I said, I'm happily married now. But back then, I don't even know. I wish I could say I could go back in time and I would have worked up the courage. I just don't think I would have, bro. I'm so starstruck when I meet celebrities. Yeah. I've met a couple. Even the John Bevere, who's like a famous Christian author and speaker. When I met him in person, I was like, sign my book. I can't speak. When I met the Hobbits,
Dad, I can't imagine. Why did you not ask them out to dinner, huh?
So when I was in line to get my picture signed, basically when I got to Elijah Wood, and it was like a long table with all four of them. So I got to Elijah Wood, and I just handed him my picture, and I'm just looking at him. I didn't wave, but I'm just sitting there like, and he's looking at me, and then he just like signs it and slides it back to me. And then I move on down to Sean Astin, and I finally worked up a hi, hi, and his nice picture. I was like, thanks, and signs it, hands it back to me. Then I get to Mary, the guy that plays Mary, Dominic. I don't remember his last name. Is it Dominic Monaghan? It might be Monaghan. So
you're on first names basis. It's okay.
Yeah. So I get up to him and I finally work up a question to ask him, and not even about Lord of the Rings. So I was like, "You having fun?" Yeah. So and I forget. I think he's Australian. He's like, oh man, it's a really good picture. And then finally we get to Pippin, and Pippin's asking me stuff. He's like, "Where'd you get this?" Like, I had my friend make it, and and I don't know. I tried to be funny, and he's, he didn't laugh, but he was like, acknowledge, like, what do you say?
He's being courteous.
Yeah, basically. I don't remember what he said specifically, but yeah, it was just they were all nice to me.
I love how just progressively, like you should have started the other end probably.
Yeah, I know. No, it was all going one direction,
okay.
but yeah, very assembly line, like herded like cattle, like cows, you know, about to get tagged.
Right.
Yeah. So, but by the time I got to Pippin, I was trying to ask him questions or make jokes and all that stuff. But I mean, it took the first 3 celebrities to get out the way and whatnot. So, but it was they're all nice. And then I watched their Q&A. I got as close to the front as I could with what I bought. I bought the full experience, you know.
Yeah.
But they were very strict on like no phone. So I only recorded like 5 seconds of Elijah Wood signing before they made me put my phone away. So I don't know. I always expected backstage passes. You get some fun alone time with them, but the past couple backstage stuff I bought hasn't been like that. So. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
Gina Carano, super friendly. She doesn't care if you're ugly, fat, shorter than her. She just grabs you and pulls you over, and you know she's gonna make you look like you're having a great time in that picture. So if you ever get a chance to meet her, she's a little bit pricier than everyone else. That was like right after she got fired by Disney, so I guess she upped her prices. I don't know.
Stay down with the mouse.
Yeah, I think it was $350 for a picture with her. But I paid it because I was like,
I'd pay that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, heck,
I'd pay that twice.
If I worked up the courage to ask her out, if she said yes, dude, my life could have been completely different.
Okay, hold on.
What?
I thought this whole time you were thinking ironically. You actually think
you never know.
This is literally George and Seinfeld thinking he has a chance with Marissa Tomei.
Hey,
because he has connection.
Look, man.
She's like, oh, I loved short, balding, stocky men.
Look, at the time I wasn't balding, but
oh my god.
Look, hey, you never know, bro. Like, worst thing she says is no,
dude.
Or I guess really worse is she calls security and escorts you out, but or she throws me out because she's yeah, exactly.
Her security's just like all shorter than her.
Right. That's so amazing. She's not like freakishly tall, you know what I mean? Like she's just like, you know, she's Maddie's height, I'd say.
God,
you know,
dude,
a little bit taller than me.
She's a goddess. She's of strength.
Look, man.
And
how many times in Greek history has the goddesses come down and blessed man with a night with them? You know what I mean?
That doesn't happen. Zeus does that.
No. Have you read the Odyssey? That's all that guy does is hop island to island and start laying with goddesses.
Yeah, that's freaking Odysseus, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. I'm no Odysseus, right? but you know, maybe she would have felt sorry for me and said yes. You know,
maybe if the gods were really drunk that day.
Look, man. You never know.
I say that's for me too. I don't have it. I mean, I'd say the same thing. But I know I got a chance. It's just living my 2 seconds. You know that 2 seconds when you know this anymore, but like you did when they asked that girl out, that pretty girl out, and you get like 2 seconds of like I'm in this weird limbo where the chances of it happening are just as likely as it not happening.
Yeah.
And you just want that moment to last forever. But even though you know there's an inevitable no coming,
hey,
it's like,
you don't know that. You don't know that until you get the words out.
With Gina Carano, I think.
Look, man, you never know. Even if it's a 0.1% chance, why wouldn't you just take that chance? Me, yeah. I know why I didn't. It's because I was a big wuss. I couldn't do it.
Should have told one of your stand-up jokes.
No. No, maybe she would have thought it was cute, the awkwardness, can we go out with me? Like, she might have thought, oh, I'm in Dallas tonight. Why not? You know what I mean?
Will you be on my podcast?
Yeah, no, right? No. We would have needed a booth. We need a booth there at the con.
Gina Carano on our podcast.
Like, and go get a picture with her and say, hey, if you got 10 minutes, you want to come on by our booth? You know, it's in this lot right here.
Yeah.
Come say hi. Why wouldn't she?
Right.
You know? And then I'll ask her out for you and be like, hey, my buddy here was wondering if you'd go out, grab a drink with him later.
Don't worry, he's a Trekkie.
A Trekkie? She's not on Trek.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, you know what? She might tell you no. I don't know about me though.
I'm not gonna bring up. Oh, what was the set like? I'm not gonna bring up that. Those are hurtful moments. For her.
I see. You're trying to say you're not interested in her fame.
I'm not gonna do that to her. Dude.
He wants to go out with you for you. He doesn't care about your celebrity status.
Yeah, I don't even care if you know Ben Shapiro.
It's like, hey, look, if you're upset by him asking you out and you want to kick him, he'd take that too. If you did a roundhouse
ruin this face.
Yeah.
Smash it into bits.
He'd be happy for that. If you roundhouse kicked him, he'd be like, Gina Carano roundhouse kicked me. And I'm happy.
Dude, yeah. Can we get a picture of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So we should do that, though. We should go to a con, set up a booth, and be like, hey, get all the guys from Trailer Park Boys. Hey, if one of y'all wants to hop on real quick and talk to us for 10 minutes, let's do it.
Yes.
Then they accidentally hop on for an hour because we're that good at conversation. Like, it could happen. You know, we're great. I think we're really good at like bringing in someone, and they just have a weird atmosphere of like, I like that.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything's possible, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for today. I don't know if you want to bow us out. I don't think you've closed us out for a while. So
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for the Third Wheel Podcast. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your week and a Merry, Merry Christmas. Pending.
Yeah, pending release. And also Happy New Year.
Yeah.
See y'all next time.
Bye-bye.